This is genuinely insane. As in a Pelicans offseason that has had a ton of turmoil surrounding trades and also very little discussion on Zion Williamson, we now have a huge rumor and report to go over that would absolutely change everything for the Pelicans franchise instantly, and it would be completely insane to pull this off right now. And we're going to dive in exactly to what that is and break down everything surrounding this situation as well, along with discussing what the Pelicans' future does look like, because there still is some questions surrounding that we are going to go over, and we're going to jump right into that, guys. But real quick, before we do that, if you are part of that percentage that's not subscribed to Pelicans Digest, if you're part of that 48% that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe for daily New Orleans Pelicans updates, because we got a lot of great videos coming out for you. Now that it's September, we are going to see a lot of stuff come out about training camp and media day, and you don't want to miss out on it, so make sure to subscribe with those post notifications on, and let's talk some New Orleans Pelicans basketball. Because look, Joe Dumars has had an interesting start to his tenure as the Pelicans' real decision maker. Like, obviously, the Derek Queen trade does leave a lot more questions than answers, but the main question is, what if it doesn't work? What happens then? And, well, that's a serious thing that we have to be aware of, because if it doesn't work, then all of a sudden we're looking at a situation where the Pelicans, they don't have a draft pick that they control next year. That's in control of the Atlanta Hawks in a deal that also has a few other teams involved as well. It's one of those pick swap things that makes no sense and that it's really tough to navigate, and it's going to be difficult to navigate until we really know where each team is picking come, May or whatever. So obviously that plays a part into things as well. But we saw a huge update regarding Zion Williamson, a huge report regarding Zion, and it's just absolutely insane as it's pitching that Zion Williamson goes to the Washington Wizards in a deal that, as mentioned by Sports Illustrated, the Washington Wizards are in dire need of a star to accelerate their rebuild and bring relevance back to their franchise. With that in mind, they should strongly consider checking the asking price for New Orleans Pelicans forward Zion Williamson. The Wizards have already shown a willingness to do business with the Pelicans, as evidenced by the recent trade that sent guard Jordan Poole to the New Orleans Pelicans. That established relationship could be a valuable starting point in exploring a potential blockbuster. Well, Zion is a unique talent because when he plays, he's almost unguardable. He's been double-teamed more than anyone in the NBA last season, and in 28.6 minutes per game, he put up 24.5 points, 24.6 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. He got a steal per game, got a block per game. His defense is getting better. He's got a defensive box plus minus that's positive, so we're seeing Zion get better and better at defense, and he's still just 29 years old. He shot 56% from the field. We know how good Zion is. Why in the world would we trade Zion right after trading our pick? Why would we do that? Zion is how we win games. That's not a secret, especially without Dejounte Murray here for the first half of the season. Zion is how we win games. That's how we win. So without Zion, things get really, really, really questionable pretty much instantly. So obviously we have to look at that and consider everything. And also, when we just look at Zion, the man is in great shape. It's the first time we've seen anything from Zion in a long time. That's what I meant. Like, we have updates regarding the Pelicans' future and Zion. Zion lost a ton of weight. He's been working out the University of New Orleans this summer, and he's really just been doing everything right. And you love to see that with Zion. He's still just 25 years old, man. He's newly 25. Zion's young, man. We still got a lot of time left with Zion Williamson. And on top of that, Basketball Index did highlight that Zion Williamson has been one of the most prolific finishers in the NBA over the past 5 seasons, and his impact there has remained among the best in the league, although it's dipped a bit since his 2021 season. Now, using the year-over-year tool, we can identify player performances in a season-by-season context to how they've risen or remained the same over any custom time frame. And Zion has been consistently in the upper echelon of overall shooting talent, mid-range talent, play type versatility, finishing talent, and self-created shot making over the past 5 seasons. So Zion is one of the most unique offensive talents in basketball. This is not the time for the New Orleans Pelicans to trade Zion Williamson off the team. It's kind of a ridiculous thought process in every sense of the word. As Sports Illustrated continued by mentioning, while still young, being just 25 years of age, Williamson is already in need of a fresh start. The marriage between him and the Pelicans has never quite lived up to expectations due to injuries and off-the-court distractions. However, his on-court production remains undeniable. Last season, he averaged 23 points, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds per game, so that's, with statistics such as those, Williamson has the chance to fill multiple voids that the Wizards currently face. So, Sports Illustrated, get your stuff right. But Williamson even has the potential to bring in other stars to the team. More importantly, he could elevate Washington into playoff contention in a weakened Eastern Conference. Now, his previous chemistry with CJ McCollum could also pay dividends, helping establish leadership and stability in that locker room. Now, look, all this makes some sense. And as Sports Illustrated mentions, for the Pelicans, the fit has never been ideal, and the front office may be ready to move on. Perhaps drafting Derek Queen was the start of the Pelicans wanting to move on from Williamson. The Wizards possess young talent, and future draft picks that could be appealing to New Orleans as they pivot around former Wizard Jordan Poole, the rookies Derek Queen, and Jeremiah Fears, and even the big man who stood out last season, Yves Missy. Now, with all this in mind, this is absolutely still completely ridiculous. I mean, look, as Pro Pels Talk mentioned, as Justin mentioned, Joe Dumars isn't taking it easy on Zion, which is a good thing in both interviews from Willie Green and Joe Dumars. We've seen that. And as Justin continued by mentioning, Joe Dumars is very smart in the way that he's challenging Zion Williamson on public platforms. He's been very strategic on making sure that to let everyone know that Zion is bought in and wants to be here. Now it's strictly on Zion to show up. So if Zion's bought in and wants to be here, why would you move him now? So clearly the marriage is fine. There's a new front office. This is not the time to start considering wild decisions. It just doesn't make sense. The only trade that really works, even financially, you have to add Chris Middleton into it. And then on top of that, to make it work financially, because the Pelicans are hard capped at that first apron, so things become tough. You have to add like Bub Carrington and then a plethora of picks to even be interested, and one of them as a swap. I don't even know if I do this trade. So it's one of these things that people try to constantly bring up reasons for the Pelicans to trade Zion Williamson because Zion's not in a big enough market. I honestly think that's good for Zion based off the fact that Zion's acted out a little bit and had some, just being a young person, he's made some weird choices in life that all young people make. I'm 24 years old. I'm no stranger to making really stupid life decisions. I've definitely done my fair share of them as well. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean it's time to trade Zion. It's the wrong time to do that with not even having the friggin' draft pick. It makes no sense. We look at the draft capital. The Pelicans don't control their pick next year. Why would we trade them then? Look, as mentioned, 2026 first round from OWN. Now, Atlanta will receive the more favorable of Milwaukee's 2026 first round pick and the Pelicans' 2026 first round picks, and Milwaukee will receive the less favorable of the two via New Orleans' right to swap for Milwaukee. So the Pelicans are in the middle of that. That's not ideal because if they have the worst team of the three, and that's a good chance because the other two teams are in the East and the Hawks just stacked up their roster pretty well, and the other team is Giannis, so most likely Pelicans are the worst. They lose their pick. Idiotic. Absolutely idiotic. Now, I like Bub Carrington as a player. It has nothing to do with Bub. Now, Bub last season, 30 minutes per game, put up 10 points, 4.2 rebounds, 4.4 assists. Looks like a nice player who will get better and more efficient as time goes on. Shot 40% from the field and 34% from three. I do like Carrington a lot, but he's not the main player you're getting back for a Zion trade. It is ridiculous. Absolutely nuts. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is there any chance that Zion gets traded? I really don't think so. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I'll catch you later.